I'm Braeden.
And I'm Savannah.
Welcome to Magnetic Ag Ears Edition, where we bring you weekly ag news, fast and unfiltered.
Just how you like it.
Savannah!
What? I thought we were trying to be fun.
Well, yes, but we're supposed to be telling them why they should tune into Magnetic Ag Ears Edition, not giving them wink dad jokes.
Oh, yes, right. Okay. Each week, we are serving up the biggest ag headlines and industry trends you didn't know you needed.
Forget your grandpa's farm reports. Well, maybe not all the way. But Magnetic Ag Ears Edition is here to shake things up with a deep dive into the latest headlines and honest reactions to crazy things happening in the world of food and ag.
So tune in every Thursday for 10 minutes of Magnetic Ag Ears Edition. How did we do?
I think we ate that.
Welcome to Magnetic Ag Ears Edition. I'm your host, Savannah Nichols.
And I'm your other host, Braeden Kuhn.
We are actually doing this, Braeden. Crazy.
You know, it's taken a lot to learn how to talk in a microphone and not feel like I sound stupid, although I still feel like I sound stupid. So give us some grace, or don't. Make fun of us in the comments. We've got tough skin. Give us the engagement.
Yeah, they always say bad publicity is better than none. So I guess we'll see what happens.
So cancel me?
Hopefully we aren't that bad. I don't know. We'll see after today.
Hopefully not.
Braeden, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in a tiny little farming community in southwest Oklahoma. My family, I grew up around cow-calf operation, wheat, soybeans, and also raising show pigs. My dad's also an agricultural education instructor. Coincidentally, I married an agricultural education instructor. My wife and I also have a 2-month-old daughter, and we live in northern Oklahoma now. I went to Oklahoma State University and did dual degrees in ag communications and animal science. Then decided I was going to be crazy and moved to Chicago and lived in downtown Chicago for a year in a tiny shoebox apartment while getting a master's degree in journalism from Northwestern Medill. Go Cats. And yeah, and now I spend my days at home working for Agriculture Future of America and now being a podcaster for Magnetic Ag.
Very nice. I am Savannah Nichols. I grew up in central Nebraska on my family's cow-calf feedlot operation, and we also have row crops, so very Nebraska of us, I always like to say. Went to college, graduated from Kansas State University with my bachelor's.
Boo.
Go Cats, you said. Graduated with my bachelor's in ag communications. Just started with Agriculture Future of America back in September and kind of taking on this role as a podcast host now. Super excited. This last year of my life has been super fun, crazy, and exciting. Got married in December. Currently live back in Nebraska, but also kind of looking at relocating to Kansas. So keep you guys updated there. What else, Braeden? You got a fun fact. Tell it to us.
Oh yes, let's have a fun little icebreaker for the people so they get to know us. So my fun fact, this is a very interesting fun fact, and we can talk about it more at some other point in our lives, but it's probably not the best topic today. I wrote my graduate thesis / reported thesis project on theme park scented candles.
Theme park scented candles? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Yeah, so essentially the most famous one is probably they all sell ones that smell like the water from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney.
To me, that doesn't sound like it would smell good.
You know, each their own.
But people like that?
People like that.
That will not be in my house, but to those that love it, good for them.
Your turn. Fun fact us.
My fun fact I use this every time, so if anybody knows me, they've heard it. My fun fact is I got hit by a bus. I will go on to say that the story is not as dramatic as I make it out to be. I really just like to get people worked up about it. I was in my car. The bus hit me, totaled my car, but everybody was fine. So sympathies to people that have had it worse, but it's just kind of a fun little play on words for me, I guess.
The irony of the situation is Savannah is not my only friend that's their fun fact. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the common denominator.
Maybe it was your fault. We'll go with that. I mean,
we'll go with that.
Awesome. Okay, well, should we get into our big headline of the week, Braeden?
Let's get into it.
Awesome. So a little preface. Each week we are diving into headlines facing the United States food and ag industry, sharing our thoughts and opinions on its impact on you as a producer. We invite you to kind of engage in the conversation and share your thoughts with us, whether you agree or disagree in our podcast comments or follow us on social at Magnetic Ag. So our headline for today, hot off the press from Commodity Classic, from the United States Department of Agriculture. Secretary Rollins delivers remarks at Commodity Classic, announces next steps for economic disaster relief. A little bit about the headline: the U.S. Secretary of Ag, Brooke Rollins, delivered remarks at Commodity Classic, where she announced the department's plan to distribute the economic and disaster aid caused by Congress late last year.
I think this is really great to see this new administration when we're talking about the USDA. I know there's been a lot of controversy and things about what's happening right now with government and the jobs and the departments and things, but this feels like something really positive that they're really jumping on the ball on this kind of this. I mean, Congress has released these funds to help with this economic assistance and then as well as some funds for disaster relief separately that I think are really going to help US producers that need it in those areas that have been really affected. And it's just good to see that. And she even had a quote in there in the article slash press release that said, you know, we're not going to sit back and wait. Congress has given us this time limit. Congress has given us this money. We're going to use it and really help producers.
Yeah, I think just for awareness, end of last year, Congress passed that $10 billion will be used for economic assistance for farmers and ranchers, and then another $20 billion will be used for disaster relief. Secretary Rollins really wants to get that out and really wants to get that to producers, and she kind of sounds like she's on it.
Yeah, I would say so. It said there in the article and what she said when she talked to everyone there at Commodity Classic that specifically the $10 billion in economic assistance passed by Congress, that they currently are kind of sitting on like a 90 days to start distributing that 10 billion. So they're really hoping to honor before March 20th, which is coming up pretty quick. This month was at 16 days from recording, to start taking applications. And don't be too worried about the applications either. They have, in most cases, they say they're going to have information already on file for you. So they're going to be able to send out pre-filled applications using from FSA using your 2024 acreage report data. And that kind of gets you a jump start. And they're going to let you have the opportunity to fill in missing information, update information as you go. And you can sign and return completed to your FSA service center. And it'll be pretty quick and easy to get at least that part of the process of getting this assistance.
As producers, I know those applications can always seem big and daunting and kind of hard to fill out. So having that more rapid approach, I think is really going to help get that money into producers' hands.
And then specifically talking about the 20 billion in disaster relief. So you're no longer going to be required to hand in your tax returns when applying for this disaster relief, which is pretty good there for some larger producers, I'm sure.
Yeah, again, just she really is wanting to ramp up that process. She doesn't want to wait until years after the disaster has happened to release that money, like is kind of common in years past. She really wants, as soon as it happens, get that money so people can take action and really respond to the disasters in a more efficient way.
And let's just take any general disaster that could happen. You know, that's an instant impact that it's having on your business, instant gains lost, um, instant things that need to be fixed and worked with. And we know insurance, farm insurance is a pain in the butt as it is. That's a whole other topic that we do not have time to get into today. And waiting on insurance money can take forever. And then also, if you're waiting on government assistance to, you know, boost yourself and help you out, and that's taking forever, I mean, as long as it's been taken, you could lose your whole operation before you even have time to blink or even get cleaned up, it feels like. So it's really great that they're taking this step to really help producers.
Fingers crossed for all those producers out there that things go well and we kind of can start to see an improvement. I guess I'll just end one other quote that I pulled from the article that Secretary Rollins shared, and this isn't going to be word for word, but basically she just wanted to acknowledge that the ag economy, especially for row crop producers, is at the worst it's been in over 100 years. And her and Trump are very passionate about getting a better course of action and more stability for those ag producers. So lots of promises there. Now, kind of the waiting game of see what happens and see what really comes down those pipelines.
Yeah. So with that, it's time to have a little bit of fun. This is our next segment of the podcast. So we are going to call this our live reaction segment. We need a fun name. We should come up with a fun name for that.
We do need a fun name
We'll
for that.
maybe check in next week. Maybe we'll have one. So each week, Savannah and I are going to be on the watch for awesome headlines that we think are really interesting. We're going to bring to the table, each of us, 2 headlines that caught our eye. The only rule is it has to have some ag connection or relevance. So essentially, I mean, it can be pop culture, food, ag, something completely wild, whatever it is, but there is going to be some kind of ag or food relevance or connection. So it'll be interesting for you. So I think I'm going to start. Savannah, what do you think about you're a livestock girly. Y'all raise pigs. We raise pigs. We're all about record breaking too. So the Oklahoma Youth Expo, for those of you who don't know, has always considered itself and called itself the world's largest junior livestock show. Well, yesterday, March 3rd, I believe, they released their record breaking entry numbers for the 2025 show. So some really scary big numbers here for market beras. 10,781 beras entered to be shown.
That's a lot of hogs.
10,500. That's a lot of pigs. And that's just the beras. The breeding gilts, 10,580. Market weather lambs, 2,766. But what's really interesting and what I really wanted to highlight was 350 ag mechanics projects. So something that's been really cool that I've seen in Oklahoma recently is a real push for ag mechanics projects for FFA and 4-H students, but specifically at the county and district levels. Those students are actually getting to like our county here in Noble County actually puts on an ag mechanics contest at our county show in the spring, and those students actually get to make the bonus sale and make some money off their projects.
That is very cool. We don't have that. I guess it's not very popular. I know we have it in like FFA and maybe even 4-H, but it's not a very popular event. So that's very exciting to hear because that's definitely a big need within the industry. But I also think just the rest of the numbers are very exciting and encouraging just to see those students and young ones. I mean, not that long ago, I didn't exhibit at OIE, but I showed a lot of hogs and cattle. And so it's very exciting to see just those numbers continue to improve and students to keep showing and being involved in the industry.
It's the best industry. I mean, I love all agriculture, but I'm a livestock guy. I'm a livestock kid through and through.
Yes, me too. Okay, my little fun story for you, Braeden. The Oscars were last week. I know we talk a lot. We always love to look for the memes that come out of big awards show.
Can you say Adam Sandler? Check out our social media if you have not
Yes.
already.
Anyway, so I was curious about what food is at the Oscars. They have a good lineup of some food, and so I just wanted to give a big shout out to farmers and ranchers who produce that food. I know it's kind of often overlooked, but so many meals are served that night. Amongst the lineup we had some smoked salmon, mini wagyu cheeseburgers, spicy tuna tartare, chicken pot pie, mac and cheese, tater tots, beef Wellingtons, and a whole bunch more. Those are just the ones that stood out to me. But definitely just supporting our agriculture industries, beef industry, dairy industry with mac and cheese. I mean, just an incredible lineup and lots of farmers and ranchers to be supported that night.
That is super awesome. I love that. It's also a really great variety. I feel like sometimes when you have like, I mean, okay, it's the Oscars, it's a big thing, but I feel like usually when it's an event like that, sometimes it's like a really specific menu. This is a really wide range of food, which I think is really awesome. Also, I love spicy tuna.
Not my thing.
Not your thing. Tuna's my favorite. I love tuna. Not canned tuna though.
Well, they had a really good lineup. I think I would definitely be stuffed after that meal.
I would too. I wish I could go. That'd be fun. All right. Keeping on the food trend, found some fun headlines from this week from Wired. From Wired on their science area. This when they post this February 22nd, so within the last couple weeks. So it's why is chocolate so expensive right now? Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall, and other climate impacts are throttling cocoa production and driving up chocolate prices. What's most interesting about this that I couldn't believe was that just 4 West African countries are the foundations of the cocoa industry, worth more than $100 billion. Be Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria. Yeah. And just kind of the typical, I don't think we feel like climate impacts we see here in the United States as far as row crop production, things like that, weather patterns, etc. Like we don't think about things like chocolate when we think about food being affected by things happening with climate and the environment. And it was just really interesting to me that one, that so much chocolate comes from just that one area, and that it's actually lots of things are changing. So, especially two reports that were published in February said that warming has pushed temperatures beyond what is considered the optimal range for cocoa growth in these countries, especially during harvest season. That's kind of scary because that's what's causing chocolate prices to rise. So that's why your chocolate on Valentine's Day was, besides the Valentine's Day spike, it was probably also expensive because it was harder to get.
Wow, I learned a lot about chocolate from everything that you were just saying. Fun fact about me, I love dark chocolate. Big chocolate fan here. But that's kind of crazy and scary to think about. I mean, whole industry, all of food, all of ag is going to be impacted by global warming. But I don't want to see my chocolate increase. It's already expensive enough.
Yeah. This is a crazy statistic. So that research, the reports that were released, they found that between 2015 and 2014, climate change or climate or environment changes that they can track and prove, have increased the number of days each of these countries experience temperature ranges above the ideal for cocoa growth by an average of 2 to 4 weeks annually.
That's crazy. Crazy numbers there.
Insane. So be on the lookout for your chocolate prices and know that, boys and girls, buckle up.
Alrighty, one last story for us today. This one's kind of old news, but I just saw it hit my inbox today, like a kind of updated story of it, and the numbers just kind of are really interesting to me as like from the marketing industry, but definitely has a big impact on our tractor users. So I'm sure everybody saw last year John Deere was making a big call out for a chief tractor officer who would basically manage their social medias and run their account as just to kind of make it fun and do something different. And they ended up with Rex Curtis through, I don't know, the thousands of TikTok applications that they had. But to kind of break down the numbers that they were giving, so when they started this search back, I don't know, about a year ago now, I would guess, they had 73,000 followers on TikTok. Pretty good, but just wait. As soon, like through the application process and right after they selected their chief tractor officer, they were up to 366,000 TikTok followers. And with all of his efforts and the content that he has created, which I kind of checked it out, some of it's kind of funny, not gonna lie. They are now out to 591,000 followers. So just that like small jump in the year that they've had is crazy to me. I don't think that can kind of negate all of the other things that they have going on as a company, but just an interesting thing to look at on how they kind of use social media as a tool to reach more people and tell more about agriculture.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. I mean, with only what, 3% or less of the population involved in farming, I think this is a really great way for not just John Deere, but on a larger scale, as proof that as other ag companies or agriculture producers themselves, like if we really give good content and really share our stories correctly in the right ways, we can really reach a large audience. I mean, that number is mind boggling. And also, though, playing with big toys and getting to post about it, come on. Isn't that every farm kid's dream?
Yes, totally. Okay, Braden. I think we made it through our first Magnetic Ag Ears Edition podcast.
That's kind of painless. We should do it more often.
We should.
Well, I mean, turns out we're doing it weekly. So,
Yes, we'll be back next Thursday with more ag headlines, fast, fun, hopefully fun takes, and all things food and ag.
heck yeah. Boys and girls, we're signing off.
Peace out. Follow us on social for cut content and more headlines. It's Magnetic Ag on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.